All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. Let me. All right. Today we are going to discuss the platform that is the live webinar. So I'll be happy to answer your questions. Feel free to post it on chat or to Q&A section on Zoom. So let us begin. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Pavel. I could name myself a serial entrepreneur because I have been launching different startups since 2007. There were some lifestyle startups, e-commerce, etc. In 2014, my mate Nikita and I co-founded Directual. We worked a lot with enterprise customers. We build really complex apps on our platform for such huge enterprises like Vodafone, Schlumberger, PIK. And then we decided that we needed to pivot towards mass market and to provide a lot of users with the opportunity to create different apps on our platform. So from 2019, the cloud version of the platform Directual is available. And nowadays, I do believe that no-code approach is the real game-changing technology, because nowadays, not only 0.5% of all the people could create some digital products, but much more people, many more people. So first of all, that would be great if you share why have you come to the webinar, what do you expect to learn. Please answer to the chat. I would be happy to discuss it. And while you type in, I would like to pinpoint the main points, the plan of our session today. First of all, I would love to discuss the no-code market, to highlight my vision to the no-code market. Then I would love to expose the main features of Directual, why Directual is different from other no-code technologies. Then there will be a short description of bootcamps, why the bootcamps seem to be the best way to become a no-code developer. Then the live masterclass, I will create live a kind of a social network with different roles, with different scenarios, with web interface, and even connected to a chatbot. And at the end of the seminar, you'll get the special bonus, the special discount. That would be a huge one. So yeah, thank you for sharing the reasons to come. As I'm realizing, there are a lot of people who got to know Directual on Product Hunt or on AppSumo or somewhere in no-code communities, but haven't started yet because there is a certain learning curve. There is could be some mass in use cases. But nevertheless, I would love to expose all the details of the use cases of the platform, to let you the whole vision, what the platform is and what cases could be the best for the platform. All right. So if we have a look at the no-code market from the top level, there could be that picture. From the one side of the market, we could see really easy to use and primitive tools like one button universe or easy to use tilde, or more sophisticated but still easy Airtable, where you could, without any coding, create your apps or prototypes to test MVPs and so on. And on the other side of the picture of development tools, you could see traditional coding tools like React, Ruby on Rails, Firebase, and so on. So there is no any strict border between all those tools, and Directual seems to be somewhere in the middle between the primitive no-code tools and traditional development tools, because it is still a no-code, a visual development tool, but at the same time, you could build really complex apps on it. Bubble is similar from that point of view, but Bubble is about front end and that UI building. Moreover, there are some problems with scaling, etc. All right, and if we have a look at this situation on the market, we could discern that there are no coders who entered the market, started using the simplest no-coded tools, but they are using more and more complex because they stuck with the limits of primitive no-code tools, and they're moving from the right side to the left to more sophisticated tools. At the same time, the coders, traditional developers, they're starting using, they're trying to avoid wasting enough time. They want to build apps faster, avoiding all that mess with infrastructure. So they also move from traditional tools, from traditional approaches to no-coded tools. And somewhere in the middle, we could see that there is a new type of person, a maker. The person who's not a coder, but he's a real maker. He could create apps, he could do it quickly, using all those capabilities of those no-code, low-code tools. And I would love to highlight the key skills of such a maker. First of all, that maker has a product vision. And that is an ideal situation when the person who has a product vision creates a product himself. That eliminates that gap between the developers and the person with a product vision. Of course, such a maker should have some basic computer skills, but that is not a computer science. It is easy to learn how to create a database properly, what is a JSON, or how to apply the primitive JavaScript constructions. That is not a rocket science at all. And so finally, the maker is an experienced product maker who could apply such pro-level no-code, low-code tools as Directual, because the no-code development on simplest tools often gets stuck due to the functional limits, because we don't have such a functionality, or you can't establish integration. So you're stuck due to the functional limits. That is a common case. Next, also a common case, scalability. You could hardly scalable app built on Airtable because there is a limit of 50K records. That is nothing for significant app. Or you need to process your data swiftly. You need to process quickly in real time. But such tools as Integromat, that is absolutely great tool, but Integromat could not provide you with real-time processing. That is another problem. And finally, few no-code makers used to think about it, but that seems very crucial. Security of an app, especially when you are going beyond MVP, when you are getting some money from your clients, that is a crucial thing, security. Your app should be secured, your data should be secured, personal data especially. And a lot of no-code tools can provide you with a proper level of security, because if you create an API, you open all your data to the public or to a certain group of people. That is not correct. Or talking about the encryption, the crucial data, passwords, for example, should be encrypted, and better to do it in more sophisticated way than standard MD5 encryption or something like that. Next, here comes Directual. Directual is the proper no-code tool to go beyond your app's MVP. So that is sophisticated enough to create, to implement whatever you imagine, but at the same time, it is simple enough uh, to be applied by non-technical user, because there is a visual interface, there are templates, so that is a proper tool to go beyond MVP. And how Directual solves those problems that I have just enumerated. The functional limits. Directual has abstract level of logic. There are no uh, business processes, there are no steps for certain business processes. There are universal scenario steps for working with data, for working with objects. And moreover, if you need it, you could apply JavaScript and create whatever you want. Then Rare app could not be integrated with other tools, with emails, systems, with the CRMs and so on. So app based on Directual could be easily integrated with any REST interface, with any system which has API. And moreover, Directual is traditional development friendly. You could develop different modules of your app on Directual, on traditional coding, on other no-code tools, and connect all those modules. Next, scalability. So Directual is scalable by default. We started building our technology 6 years ago as a tool for big data streaming analysis. So the Directual architecture, which includes streaming processing based on Kafka and NoSQL database, their scalability, which is provided by Kubernetes, is the very right tool for a scalable platform which could process millions of data, millions of records, and provide you with the linear scalability. So some platforms, no-code platforms, become very, very expensive when you scale your app. The price skyrockets non-linearly. That is not the case of Directual. Directual allows to scale your app at a very reasonable price. And the security, as soon as we worked a lot with enterprise customers, we had to keep the security of the platform at the enterprise grade level. So there is a API builder. In other words, it is called security layer, which provides you with opportunity to configure all the rules, security, user-based rules, database rules. So by default, none of your data exposed to the public internet. Moreover, every object, every event is logged, and you could trace any events on your app and investigate what happened, if something happened. And there are a lot of other configurations as cross-origin requests, encryption, and so on. So there are two main use cases of using Directual. The first use case, using Directual as a full stack no-code platform, 100% based on Directual apps, are usually internal apps, because Directual web page builder, it seems not to be so powerful as a backend part, but nevertheless, it is ideal for internal apps, for different admin portals. For example, we recently have launched our public development roadmap with an ability to upload the features, upload the features, support bugs, etc., on our platform, 100%. The second use case, very popular, is the combination of Directual plus something, plus traditional coding, plus other no-code tools. For example, a lot of enterprise solutions launched on Directual were based on Directual plus React.js. So that combination allows you to create the user interface in the backend of any complexity. All right, let me proceed to the quick platform features overview, and let me check quickly the questions. The first question, may I know if there is suitable use cases online resource that you can share on the Directual website? Yes, I suppose that this month we will release the new section on our website, which we'll call use cases, with real life apps which you could try, which you could see, and which you could copy to your account as a template. The second question, looking at something more powerful than Adalo. Adalo is an amazing mobile development platform, and I would recommend you to try to connect Adalo and Directual, because the combination is almost perfect for mobile apps, and there's no any problems in connecting, because Adalo supports external users database, supports external API connection, and next week we will release to our documentation the article, and more in the blog, the article how to connect Adalo and Directual. All right. Next, I would like to know more about how to build an app with Directual, because now I use Airtable. The answer is the following. Airtable is an amazing thing to start, and then you could migrate from Airtable to Directual. There are ways to migrate. There are several ways, importing CSV and then exporting, vice versa, exporting CSV from Airtable and importing to Directual, or using the API. So moreover, there could be the live integration between Directual and Airtable. Next question, do you also handle the replication for disaster recovery and high availability? Yes, we are. Last week, unfortunately, there was an incident on Amazon, on AWS, connected with the problems in GitLab, and part of our cluster failed, but no data, and moreover, no events were lost, because we have 3 times replication. And that guarantees that no one of your objects in your data will ever lost. So because we do suppose that keeping your data safe is our priority. All right, next. Does no-code integrate with other no-code tools such as KPI-Bs, Google Sheet Data Connector? I suppose so. I personally haven't connected with KPI-Bs, but if it has API, REST API, some methods to connect, so you could easily connect Directual with that solution. Next question. I want to create a Reddit-like website using Directual plus React.js. It is possible. The answer is yes, that is absolutely possible. And moreover, the app that I'm going to build today could be could look similar to Reddit, because there are some moderators, there are regular users, and so on. But the interface is limited with other web page builder. If you use React.js, there are no limits. You could create anything you like. Reddit easily. The next question, the last one for now. Can you create an app to sync with WordPress data? We hope we have a site with 25K visitors month, and thinking if we need app, or just say with the WordPress site. Would like to see if Directual could be a good case for a news app where the users could save and share articles and other features like collecting articles into groups. The answer is the following. Directual could be integrated with WordPress. There is a plugin. Guys from the community developed a WordPress plugin and set it free. So first of all, you could connect Directual plus WordPress. Secondly, you could migrate to Directual plus some other interface on WordPress, on React, or on Web Page Builder. How's Directual integration with Webflow? It integrates, but unfortunately, Webflow does not have powerful tools for using handling APIs. So you will have to input some JS code into the Webflow side to connect with APIs exposed by Directual. So great, thank you for the answers. Let me proceed with the platform features overview. First, the database, as I said, nothing special, simply useful, easy to use, but it can process and store millions of records easily. That is not a problem at all. Second, very powerful feature of Directual API Builder. You could create RESTful interface API for your app with role-based access, with validation of the posted of incoming data. You could use webhooks on the Directual site, and moreover, you could process the answers, the response of your webhook synchronically. Or you could use the synchronic scenarios for any other post requests. For example, the third-party system requests something, you are calculating, you're requesting other apps, and then you respond with the result. That is a synchronic scenarios. Then you could filter, you could include custom query params to your REST methods. You could sort, you could apply paging or cross-origin requests. So that is the tool for creating the solid REST API for your app. Next, the heart of the platform is scenarios. That is the feature for creating all your backend logic. The scenarios could work in real time by with some triggers by new object, changed of a certain field. You could configure a schedule run, for example, each second Monday of the month. As I said previously, the scenarios, the steps of the scenarios are at the abstract level. So you are processing a data, you're editing objects, you are checking the conditions on the fields of the objects, you could parse the JSON, you could set delays, you could interconnect different scenarios, and moreover, those scenarios are processing your events in real time, in milliseconds, 5 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds. That is absolutely real for Directual scenarios. Then another cool thing, freshly baked, active integrations. There is a basic feature for integrating everything, very similar to a software named Postman, the tool for requesting any other API for getting the response and then processing that response. And moreover, there is a catalog of different plugins that allows you to add integrations really rapidly in a couple of clicks. I will demonstrate connecting two plugins in the masterclass. And finally, you could configure the direct SQL database listeners when you are listening to your database, and each time when something happens in the SQL database, the event comes to Directual. And another feature really useful for creating your admin portals, for creating the interface of your app, is a web page builder. It supports role-based access. There could be multiple roles, admins, moderators, regular users. It is mobile friendly. You could easily use it from the iPhone, Android, using your web browser. There are forms, tables, cards. it could be white labeled. The colors, the fonts could be easily configured. And moreover, we are going to introduce the plugins feature. It means that you will be able to create your own components on JavaScript for the web pages. All right. And if you ask me what is the best path to become a maker, that person whom I mentioned, and I would answer that the best way is a bootcamp. The bootcamp is a kind of intense training where you are working closely with an instructor, you are performing some homework, and there are a lot of different no codes on the market with a different price. There are firms such as No Code MBA or MakerPod. They are focusing on creating those boot camps, educational materials, and so on. And also there are boot camps of no code vendors such as Bubble. And so do we. We have recently launched our boot camps. At the moment, two cohorts have already started their education. It looks in the following way. There are 4 weeks for home tasks. Each week is dedicated for a certain piece of features. For example, the first week we are learning the database API builder. Second week we are learning the basics of web page builder and scenarios, and so on. Each week includes also a home task. Then the instructor checks the home task, provides the student with feedback, and at the end of the bootcamp, there is a result. You have to create a fully functional marketplace, service marketplace, and if all the home tasks are accepted and the marketplace, the final app, is accepted as well, you will get the certificate of a professional Directual developer. The bootcamp includes the licensing for 2 apps for 3 months, the equivalent of $324. The regular price for the bootcamp is $499, and there is a special offer for the participants of the masterclass. As I promised, 50% discount. The coupon will be exposed at the end of that bootcamp. So keep with us. All right, and before we are proceeding with a live masterclass, I will check the questions one more time. So would be good to know if Directual can mention on upcoming integration with any AppSumo tools online, so easier to buy the relevant upcoming offers for Black Friday. I suppose so. That would be great. Nevertheless, as soon as the tool has REST API, some methods to integrate with the Directual could be integrated pretty easily using the standard steps of universal HTTP requests. And that is not a rocket science to get to know how to deal with it. So that's pretty easy. But nevertheless, there is a Facebook group, and there you could provide the links on the certain offers on AppSumo, and our team could easily check whether it could be integrated with Directual or not. All right, cool. And next, the masterclass. So we're going to create a kind of a social network, a foodie social network, where people could share the favorite recipes, the favorite dishes, Then those recipes are pre-moderated by moderators. Then the moderators could also approve regular users as the part of their team. And then you could check the catalog of recipes with different categories, with pictures, and get all the fresh recipes on their chatbot and Telegram. And another cool feature, there will be the opportunity to upvote the recipes. Each and every registered user will have the opportunity to upvote recipes, and there will be a kind of a rating of different dishes. All right, let's go to directual.com. That is my account. You could register for free and try it out. I created an app, blank app, masterclass. It is enough, free plan is enough to play with the platform, to get to know all the basics. And if you have more than 3 scenarios or 3 API endpoints, you could choose then whether to go to the bootcamp or choose the startup, which starts from just $30. So the pricing is not significant. So that is an app. The first screen is a dashboard. I could see the app load. I could see all the main sections, data structures, scenarios, and so on. Now, let's start with the web pages. There is a default web page, home page. I would love to delete it. I don't need it. And I'm creating the new page. New recipe. And I just have created a page. I'm going to my app. That is a standard app. I could configure it. For example, the portrait title, footy, add a logo image. There will be the URL. If I need to upload the image, I'm going to the Directual file storage, uploading the logo. All right, that is it. Going to web pages, paste it here. And moreover, I would love to configure the appearance. Let it be that dark color theme. All right, looks marvelous. Now I'm going to the recipe and throwing the form. But if I'm creating the form, there will be an object which should be saved. So I'm going to the database and creating new data structure. Recipe. That is it, the data structure. Now I'm configuring the fields. Let it be title, then date added, type of date. I could even configure. I don't need any time of adding, and I would love to have such a format of data, date. Next, the recipe itself, recipe text. Let it be a markdown, the subtype of string, then ingredients. It could be an array of links. There could be another objects ingredients, but for now, let's do it a simple markdown. That would be a list of ingredients with some weights and so on. And of course, there should be a photo, dish, photo, type of image. All right, and another, the status, the new, approved, and so on, type of string as well. Next, the user who uploaded. That would be a link, the special type of the field, link to another data structure, link to app users. All right, and the visible name would be title. Perfect. But I want our users to sign up or sign in before uploading the recipe, uploading the dish. So I'm going to web pages, edit portal settings, and I'm turning on the authentication and I'm allowing the signing up for new users. All right. You see the icon of the log appeared at pages, and moreover, the page profile appeared. And the website requires to be logged in. So I could create a new account, Pavel of password. All right. The form is not configured, but nevertheless, I have signed up. Let's check what happened. There is a system data structure app users, and that is it. The new web user with a certain ID logging with a password encrypted, of course, and first name, last name, and so on. But now I would love to connect a plugin of social network login. I would love to have an opportunity to authenticate using Facebook. That is an easy thing. So I'm going to plugins, users authentication. There is a Google, OpenID, and Facebook. And now I'm going here. I could check the documentation. There is a very detailed documentation. What shall I do on Facebook? I just did it before in order to not wasting any time. I'm pasting here Facebook ID, Facebook secret. Then I'm setting true, create new users. That it means that I'm allowing to sign up using Facebook. That is it, pretty easy. And here we could see the Facebook login. I'm going to the Facebook. I have signed up using Facebook. Let's go to the app users. All right, there are two users. I have another email. Now, we are going to configure the form of adding recipes. So I'm creating a new API endpoint because any other web pages, including our own, should work via API endpoint. Recipe. All right, setting up the security layer, adding the field for reading, just ID, and for writing. So there would be user ID, photo, ingredients, recipe, title, and that is it, I suppose. All right, let's go to the web pages, new recipe. Now I'm configuring the form, choosing the endpoint, form title. Without any title, I would love to add it here on the web page. Now, form width, let's be 400 pixels. Then I'm going to fields. User should be filled automatically. I'm deleting it and checking that. Include user's ID automatically. Next, title to the top. Dish photo, turn on files uploading. All right. New recipe. Pizza, ingredients, recipe text, and dish photo. Let us add one, pizza. Ingredients. Cheese, ham, olive oil, something. Recipe texts. Mix and cook. The dish photo I'm uploading here, let it be this one. All right. Submit and submit again. Let's check the structure recipes. That is it. Lovely pizza with ingredients, with a recipe, with a photo. All right. But now we need to create a workflow of moderating the recipes and displaying the recipes. So we are going to web pages. We're creating a new web page, all recipes. A page icon, something. That one. All right. All recipes. Tomorrow, I would love to make another view for the menu appearance. Let it be on the top of the website. It seems pretty for me. New recipe, all the recipes. All right, and all the recipes will display the recipes. So I'm going to web pages, all recipes, and adding here, say, the cards view. And now I have to create another API endpoint for my component. I'm going to endpoints, recipes, all recipes. A new security layer. Then I'm not posting, I'm reading. So I'm choosing only fields for get requesting. ID, title, date, edit, recipe, text, ingredients, photo, and user ID. And the fields of the connected object, user. All right. Looks lovely. Coming back to all recipes, header. Oh, I would love to keep the turn on the quick search and delicious here. List, object, ingredients, title. Let's check. Oh, all right, that is it, pizza. Let's do it more fancier. The card text, card comment, it could be who added, for example. And then I'm going to include the picture on the card, the picture, dish photo, and let it be from the left side, 100 pixels. All right, lovely. But here we see that the user is displayed as an ID. Let me add a proper username. I'm editing the object, first name, Pavel. Oh. All right. And tomorrow we need to configure the visible name. All right, lovely. Next, we are proceeding with the scenarios. As soon as I'm going to create a process of recipes moderation, I need to add a new scenario, process all recipes, data structure recipes, and run for each and every new object. All right, I'm adding here edit an object, adding the comment, set date and status, the default ones. Date added now. That is the special word which will save the now time, and other status. Status equals new. Publish and run. But we haven't pushed the first scenario, the first object, because it was created. It had been created before we created a scenario. So we are copying the ID and pushing the object manually here. All right. Let's check the logs. Everything is correct. That is the object. Let's check status new and date 14th of November 2021. Perfect. Now, I would love to see here all the approved dishes, not new, not rejected, but approved only. And there will be a certain workflow of approving the dishes. First, I'm checking the API endpoint, all recipes, and here I'm adding the filter in the API endpoint that status should be equal, let it be approved. Remember, our dish pizza has another status, so there are no objects right here. So let's go and create another web pages approving recipes. Right. See that one. And moreover, I would love to create a group of pages and name it Direction. Right, moderation, approving recipes. A bit later, there will be approving of people and making users moderators. Now, moreover, I need to add the security here on the web page, accessible only for the user with the role moderator. All right, check, and the page disappeared because our user that I'm logged in right now is not doesn't have such a role. Let me add it. Edit role moderator. All right, now I see. Next, going to create an API endpoint for recipes moderation. Right, set up a new layer, and here will be the security rule for the role. The role should be like moderator. I'm choosing like because there could be another roles at admin or so on. The one person could have a multiple roles. Get user IDs, status, photo ingredients, recipe title, everything, including their first name, last name, and ID of the user. And then we could also change the status for the ingredients recipe title. All right, coming back to approving recipes, another card view, moderation. But we have forgotten to add another filter on the web, on the endpoint. Here, the endpoint for moderation, we're adding the filter that status equals new. right. Coming back to the web page, approving object here. Let's add a picture, photo. Let it be, say, cover. Right. And see, we could here edit anything we want because we are moderator. If there are some mistakes or something like that, and status new. But let's create another feature. I don't want to edit the status as the string. I would love to have a button. So I'm going here to object. I'm hiding the status. All right, title to the top, and I'm adding action. New action, approve. That would be a button icon, done, accent, approve. Approved. I'm using the same endpoint and automated fields mapping. I'm setting ID from the object card ID in order not to create a new object, but edit the current one. Status constant approved. All right. Let's check. Approve. All right, that is the button, and we see that approve. Now let's add a section, moderation, actions, and the recipe here. And another action would be delete button, delete, down here. I'm doing the same ID from object card ID and the status constant, rejected. Reject, not delete. All right, and here as well. Actions, approve, reject. All right, let's approve. Or we could do it from here, approve, no object, because we display here only new objects, go into all recipes. That is it, an approved recipe. Superb. So we could add another feature here, for example, the moderation, adding the users to moderation group, but the idea is the same. Now, let me add a feature of connecting with the chatbot. Here is the Telegram, one of their simplest messengers. Directual could be connected with other messengers, but let us connect with this one. I'm going to bot fodder. I'm creating the new bot, Directual MC bot. I just have created it. That is the token to integrate with. I'm going to my application, going to plugins, searching for Telegram plugin, name bot, masterclass bot, and API key. That is it, installed. And now let's play with him with that. Start a. And now we are going to database, integrations, Telegram, incoming Telegram messages, and here we are. Telegram. Let's check that it was correct. Oh, that is another chatbot. API token, that one. Uninstall. Telegram. Bot API key. All right. Now let's check one more time. That masterclass bot. Go into the integrations, Telegram. That is it. So the object with the text, with everything. And let's now create a scenario which sends all the new recipes to me, for example. Send approved recipe. Target data structure would be recipes, and changed objects by changed by status. That is a trigger for the changed objects. And now we are setting the condition that status equals approved, the comment. If not, go out. If yes, we are choosing the step from plugins, Telegram. Here we need to choose the chat ID. For the simplicity, let's go to the database integrations, Telegram chats. That is the chat ID. We could store it, say, in global constants. My Telegram. And if I go to scenarios and approve recipe, global constants, my Telegram. I'm going to send a text message. Approved, and the name of the recipe title. By user, first name, and another user last name. Not last activity, but last name. All right. But I want to send over a photo. I'm throwing another Telegram global variables. I'm sending another method of the Telegram. That method is called send photo. And there will be the photo with that. Publish and run. And now let's check it out. So I'm adding a new recipe. Let it be sushi, ingredients, fish, rice. Taste. And the photo. Not this. This. All right, submit it. I'm going to moderation, approving recipes, sushi, approve. All right, it works. New recipe was approved, sushi by Pavel, and the picture. So that is it. And I suppose that we covered almost all the essential features. So now I'm proceeding with the questions. The first question: hi, other than Other than the bootcamp, will there be more use cases and tutorials at the website? Yes, of course. We are working hard on adding more tutorials, use cases, developing our documentation. So bootcamp is just the shortcut where you are communicating with the instructor closely, you are performing the home task, homework, the homework is checked, and the bootcamp is not obligatory for learning Directual. We are going to release more and more free use cases and end-to-end tutorials. Absolutely. Next, is it possible in Directual to create an application, embed data in another? Their login is affected in the external application, and therefore in the code of embed to supply also token for the SSO authentication. At the moment, that is impossible, but we have a public roadmap, and you could add a feature there, and it looks that way. That is our development roadmap. You could suggest a feature and our users could upvote the features. And as soon as the feature is upvoted, we are taking it to the development. So everything is transparent. That would be possible, but not as of today. Next, could displayed name be driven by user language to allow for multi-languageal apps? As of today, no, the visible name could not be displayed in that way, but you could name you could store different objects for different users. So there could be several copies of an object with data in different languages. And you could configure the API endpoint with a certain filter on the language, and only one copy of the object will be filtered using the user's language. Let me demonstrate how to do that. So I'm going to API endpoints, say that one, and here in the filters, we could use the simple conditionals like status equals new, but we could here apply the fields of a user. There could be the field like locale, their language, and we could filter the objects having in mind the language of the user. That is it. So it is possible. Next question, is there PDF instructions for the new recipe, one on the steps to be done? Pavel did the very fast, and unfortunately I'm too slow to follow the of course, our today's live demo is not a tutorial, because I don't want to waste your time and create a 3 or 4 hours tutorial. There are tutorials in our documentation where we are exposing step by step what to do. Today live session is just a top level overview. But referring the question of the PDF, yes, that is possible. We could go to the scenario, to the recipe, here, editing, and there is a step. It is called create a document. We could here use the template in Word, and then the generate another document. It could be Word, it could be PDF, using the fields of an object. So we could compose a document as a recipe, for example. All right, next question. Awesome platform, thank you. About share limits, you mentioned it is a good idea that get post limits are shared as a total with all my apps instead of having limits for each app. What the status of that? So as of today, we decided not to combine the limits of an app because sorry, we decided not to stack the limits because the lifetime deals didn't suppose that. Lifetime deals. Next, when creating an API, I see it's mandatory to specify both get and post fields. How to create get only or post only endpoint. That is mandatory to specify the get only. So if you want to create only post, you add only ID of an object into the response, because the endpoint should respond at least something. Moreover, you could turn on the synchronic processing of your request and compose the response in JSON, XML, in text, whatever you want. What are plugin elements and when they will be ready? There are three types of plugin. Suppose the first type that I have already demonstrated, the integrations with authentication with the steps, they are already available. Second type of plugins for web pages, they are in testing, and I hope that this month, later this month, already in November, we will release the first version of the plugins of components. That is it. You will be able to create your own component using JavaScript. And the third type of plugins are the parts, the modules of an app. It means you created, say, a cool module about the notification or the user's profile. You could create a snapshot. You're going to version management, creating a new version. You are choosing the needed scenarios, user structures, endpoints, and so on. And you're creating that snapshot, not as a snapshot of all the app, but a certain module. And then that module could be transported from one app to another, and later we are going to create a marketplace for that. All right. Next, what are the My Container coming soon in the front end about? All right, that is it. My Container coming soon. That would be an opportunity to upload your own container. Say you are developing your front end on React or on Vue.js. You are creating a Docker container, and nowadays you have to use some Docker registry, for example, Heroku or something like that. There will be an opportunity to upload the Docker container on Directual and use that address your app.directual.app or apply the custom domain. That is the feature for custom domain. Is there or will there be a way to export apps code to run it on premise if needed, for instance, for security purposes? Not really. From the architectural reasons, you could not export any code because there is no code. The app is the part of the logic on the Directual infrastructure. But if you need for security purposes or that just a policy of your client, we are going to create a version of the platform which could be installed in a private cloud. For example, you are using your AWS and you are going to AWS Marketplace, choose Directual and install it in your private cloud. We are going to release such a feature next year. Next, how are you GDPR compliant? Do you offer a DPA, data processing agreement, if needed? So we are working hard on it. We have already met a significant part of GDPR points, and I hope that at the beginning of next year, we will provide our clients with the whole list, including the data processing agreement, all the other tools, including the trial such as we are processing cookies, please push OK button, and so on. So we have already met the essential part, and we'll complete developing that feature for our clients at the beginning of next year. Can I show an image using an URL and automatically constructing that URL by combining different database objects? Uh, of course, you could combine different database objects. That is the simple operation in the scenarios. You could use the object, the linked object. You could search objects in other data structures and combine them whatever you want. All right, thank you for the questions. They were great, and we are proceeding with a bonus. As I promised, that is the 50% coupon for our official bootcamps. You should use it before 28th of November. So the nearest bootcamp is about to start on 29th of November. So apply that coupon if you're interested in. The coupon sounds Pro Bootcamp 50. 50%. You could use it by yourself. You could share it with your friends, whatever you want. Just visit Directual.com. There is a section bootcamps, and the regular thing, and there will be an opportunity to fill the coupon. I will send you that information to the email as well. All right, and if you have any questions, feel free. How big is our team? Our team was about 40 when we actively worked with enterprise companies. Then we separated the company and provided our clients with that consultancy part of our company. Nowadays, there are about 10 engineers. So we are engineering only company. We are not developing the apps by ourselves. But we could recommend somebody from our community or from the list of our partners. Can we iterate through an array link field? Type in the scenario builder. Oops, I put the done, but the answer is the following. Yes, it is possible. Let me show you how to do that. So we are going to scenarios. Here, edit scenario, and if we have the field type of array link, we could use the step link scenario, choose that link, and throw that set of objects to another scenario and work with them. And moreover, we could provide that link scenario with some context of processing, and that is the analog of iteration. So we could process all the objects from array link. All right, and some questions from the chat. I can't sign in to MC Directual app with Facebook. There is an error. Let us check. Probably there. No, you should be available to sign up. Nevertheless, you could type into our support chat. We are always happy to help with all the struggles, with all the questions. So don't hesitate, please. Is there a way to use Directual for checking into locations using QR codes? Yes, it is possible, and some of our users have already done it. But you will need to use some third-party QR processing tool. There are some options of services which could generate a picture with QR codes to you, or to extract the URL or the string from QR code to you and send it to you via API. Is there a recording for this webinar? It's late here due to time difference. I need to leave soon. Of course, there will be a record, and I'll post the record on our Facebook group, and I'll send the record to all the participants to emails. All right. So amazing. Thank you for listening to me. That was a pleasure to share. Uh, Unfortunately, we have only hour and a half. That is not enough to show all the possibilities of the platform. But nevertheless, I will be happy to chat with you. Feel free to connect me using the support chat or a Facebook group. Thank you for attention.